Every few months we do a big order of all the nuts, seeds and things that you store away in your cupboard and sprinkle on food and make granola from. So I thought it'd be fun today. I've just got all my deliveries and I thought it'd be fun to talk through what I order and what I use it for. I'll put some information here about the protein, fibre content of these things, and you might try a new nut or seed because of it, which would be fantastic. So let's get to it. So first I have whole macadamia. They are a lovely creamy, have you ever had a white chocolate macadamia cookie? Yeah, they're like a creamy, lovely, like a beginner nut, less bitter. My favourite way to use these is I toast them in a dry pan and wait until they're slightly browned on all sides, just slightly, a little sprinkle of salt, and it's like some sort of cinema popcorn. My daughter absolutely loves these. It's a great, healthier snack, much better than crisps. And next we have cashews. This time I bought split cashews because they're a bit cheaper. I don't need them whole because they're going to be chopped up in granola. So cashews again are like a creamy, not bitter nut. If you have time, if you sprinkle some herbs or spices and some salt and oil and put them in the oven for a little while, and you'll have a perfect whole food snack that's got protein and fibre in it. Hey Murphy. Hey. Now, linseed, also called flaxseed, is so high in fibre, and you can get some omega-3 in this. There aren't that many sources other than fish, are there? If you can, buy the milled version, the ground version. When it's a whole seed, they're really hard little pellets. They just pass through. They don't actually break down all that much in your body. So to get maximum nutrients, you want to buy the ground version. They're really cheap. It's like a couple of quid for a big bag, and you can sprinkle it on your breakfast or your salads, or basically any meal, and you're adding some fibre, some protein, some omega-3. No brainer, isn't it really? Let's dive into this box. I've tried a new company called HBS Foods. Have you ordered from them before? Whoa. I've been looking for a ground macadamia nut because you might not know about Bryan Johnsons, but if you know, you know. I've been trying to make his Nutty Pudding as a healthy pudding alternative for us all, and you need some ground macadamia, and I've been trying to blend mine in the blender or in the food processor into a fine powder, and it's so noisy, and it's just, yeah. The ground macadamia, I haven't seen this anywhere before. It's really finely ground. It's almost like almond flour, which is going to be amazing for sprinkling on salad, anything basically. I'll put a link to the Nutty Pudding recipe below. It really satisfies that sweet craving that you sometimes have after a meal, and you can eat that guilt-free because it's just full of goodness. And thumbs up Bryan Johnsons and his team. I love it. Ooh, nice packaging. Right, so I've finally got some more goji berries. We haven't had them for so long. Here's some stats about goji berries. They are hard, but if you want to add them to a salad, soak them in a little bit of water for a few minutes, or if you add them to salad that has been washed, like, you know, your lettuce has still got a little bit of moisture. If you pre-make your salad, it will soak up the moisture from your lettuce, and then by the time you come to eat it, you'll have these little juicy bursts of goji berry. It's like a sweet little pop of taste amongst the salad. It's delicious. I also add these at the last stage of the granola making as a nice little red treat to find amongst the granola. Always popular with the children. I also got these zipper bags from Grape Tree. These are going to be to store all the produce, as you may have seen in some of my other videos. That we've got this abundance of strawberry picking to do at the moment. We're picking around 2.4 kilos of strawberries every 2 days, which is quite a mission. The chest freezer is almost full. Next up we have walnuts. The good thing about walnuts is that they're really soft. They're probably the softest nut apart from pecans. So if you're going to chop them with a knife, they'll go through like butter, and if you're going to put them in your food processor, they'll chop up really easily without too much noise. Obviously walnuts are used in things like coffee and walnut cake, which doesn't do it for me. maybe it does for you. But my favourite thing to do with them is just using them in the granola. It's a great base, and because they are soft, they'll chop up extra small to a fine powder, and they're sort of indistinguishable from oats, which is good as the children won't pick them out. Now we have some pecan pieces. Again, I bought pecan pieces because I don't need whole nuts. Who's going to pay premium for whole nuts when you're just going to chop them up anyway? Pecans are one of my absolute favourites. What about you? What's your favourite nut? Are you a Brazil nut, or a pecan, or a cashew? Let me know, I'm interested. And chocolate covered ones don't count. But seriously, pecans are... First time I tried pecan was a caramelised pecan on one of those little vendors that you get on like the corners of like New York and stuff. Salivating. Sadly, there's no caramelisation in these pecans, but they are delicious. They're a fantastic snack. Or if you're having a salad, and salad can be kind of similar textures, do you not agree? Crunch, wetness. Add some pecans in there and you've got a dry, crisp. So it adds a lovely difference to your salads. What have we got here? Cheers! Someone really did a good job of packaging that. It is apple cider vinegar. You might be wondering, what do you do with apple cider vinegar? Well, many things. It's fantastic. It's naturally fermented. It contains the mother, which is the bacteria. The bacteria help to ferment it, but then they also keep it from going off. So they're really beneficial bacteria. This is lovely, a little drizzle on your salad. You could even use it on chips instead of malt vinegar. A lot of people, including us, will do the apple cider vinegar trick. You may or may not have heard of it. You add a small amount of apple cider vinegar to a large glass of water. You drink this prior to eating a meal, and I'll put a link to the science description below because that's not my forte, but essentially you're going to get a lower blood glucose spike after a high carbohydrate meal. So instead of this woo and crash, you'll help to keep it lower. That's all I'm going to say. Check out the link if you want to read more about the apple cider vinegar hack. Next we have chia seeds, one of my absolute favourites. They are so versatile. Get used for just about everything in this house. You need them for the nutty pudding, Bryan Johnsons nutty pudding. I use them in the granola. I'll sprinkle them on salads. They are a fantastic source of fibre. They have a really cool property that if you mix them with a liquid like water, they'll turn into this gelatinous substance. So it acts like an egg. I've also created a healthy jam with using just strawberries and chia seeds, which is going to be my next video. You might want to give that a go. No sugar, no sweetener, no emulsifiers, just 2 ingredients. This isn't a weekly thing. This is something we do every few months. I'll let things run down and keep a list, and then it's just easier to buy a big bulk bag. I've got everything I need, I can fill up all the jars, and we're good for a long time now. The other reason I buy in bulk, most of these bags are 500 grams or a kilo, is that it's so much cheaper. If you buy a tiny little bag of nuts in the supermarket, you're looking at probably £3 or £4. It's not going to go far in this house, I don't know about you. But because they play a crucial role in so many meals, it's just worth buying the bulk bags, even if it is a bit of a pain to store it. The next one's a naughty one, some raisins. The children are obsessed with pudding. They'll have like an apple, maybe a few little raisins and some coconut. This is raw flaked coconut, so it's had minimal processing and it's a beautiful white colour. If you've seen my granola video, you know I add this to the granola halfway through so that it doesn't burn and turn to charcoal dust. Learned the hard way on that one. It has a lovely texture and the most beautiful toasted taste. Something else I like to do with coconut is, for pudding, I'll give the children a little bit of coconut, a little bit of dark chocolate, maybe a few goji berries, and they can kind of create their own little healthy bounty. Tastes lovely. There's a little pudding hack for you. How about you? Are your children obsessed with pudding? It's a big deal. What's going to be for pudding every day for them? Next we have, these are organic sunflower seeds. I bought organic ones because they weren't much more than... I'm covered in crumbs. I'm not sure what happened. Sunflower seeds I mostly use these for the granola. They're a fantastic source of protein. There's 20 grams per 100. So for every serving you have, a fifth of it is protein. That's quite high for a seed. And I think, last but not least, can you guess? Pumpkin seeds. Wait, scratch what I just said. These have 30 grams of protein per 100. That's nearly a third protein, albeit they're not going to be a complete protein. The idea being you get lots of little bits of protein from lots of different sources. These are a shiny skin variety, so they apparently are milder in flavour. Sometimes they can be a little bit bitter. My favourite thing to do with pumpkin seeds is to toast them. Have you ever tried toasted pumpkin seeds? If you haven't, you're missing out. A little bit of salt on them as well. If you don't want to put them in the oven, just pop them in a dry pan for a few minutes and just keep an eye on them. Don't let them burn. And they'll start warming up and you'll start hearing pop. And then this unlocks this beautiful toasted rich flavour. And then adding those to a salad or maybe some roast vegetables is just a lovely addition. I think we're about done. I need to take all this into the kitchen. I've got a lot of empty jars to fill up. Do you want to see a video about that? I'd love to make one about that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you learn a few things. Hope that maybe you'll try a new nut or seed, or maybe some apple cider vinegar. You don't have to overthink it or overcomplicate it. We've got one big nut jar that I will just top up with whichever nuts we have at the time, and we just dip into that. I also make my healthy homemade granola with no sugar. My children eat every day, so do I when I eat breakfast, and it's a fantastic bowl of goodness. So many different sources of fibre and protein. Thank you for staying to the end, it means so much. What about you? What is your favourite nut or seed and what do you like to do with it? I would love to find out.